Good morning, Crestwood. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you all are having a great week so far. God has blessed us in so many ways, and I hope you see those and give thanks for those. I'm thankful to be your pastor and glad to bring you this devotional for Wednesday, July 17th. It's a tough weekend for our country with the assassination attempt of a candidate who's running for president. It's so interesting to me how the coverage of that has been done and how people have reacted to that. It's taken what's already a divisive and volatile political situation and seems to have ramped it up to another level. But one of the things that really surprised me coming out of that was how people on both sides of the aisle in the aftermath were calling for a dialing down of the rhetoric that has led to that divisiveness and that I think ultimately led to the violence that was perpetrated. You know, our words matter, and the words that we choose and the words that we say really can have an impact. And so I really appreciate this bipartisan call to dial down the rhetoric that has taken place. Now, will that last? No. I'm sorry to be cynical, but it's not. Going into this election season, I think the rhetoric's just going to continue to ramp up. And I think that's where we as followers of Christ have to be mindful. We have to be mindful of the words that we use, especially when talking about a social issue or political issue, because those words carry weight. There's a term in communication called psychographics. My late friend Dan O'Hare taught me about this. And psychographics is when the language we use, the words we use are embedded with a deeper meaning. So think about if we say, we have time to kill, or I'll take a stab at that, or man, he got murdered in that court case, whatever you want to say. The language we use carries with it meaning. So when I call shotgun, if I want to ride beside someone, that shotgun carries meaning. Taking a stab carries meaning. Killed, murdered. We use those words a lot, and what we don't use as much is peace. And so I want us to think about the language that we use, not only in every day, but our language, especially when we're talking about a political issue or the candidates or the leaders. We have to be really careful about how we demonize others. We have to be really careful about how we ostracize them, how we devalue them. But here's the challenge. We are called as Christians not to devalue someone else, even when they are devaluing others, right? Because if we do that, then we are playing into their game as well. And so our challenge is to maintain our own integrity in how we talk about the people who are running for president and how we talk about the people who are supporting them and how we talk about the people impacted by the decisions they make. As long as we believe that there is an other in this country, that divide is going to exist. It's only when we come to the realization that we are all in us that we will be able to move forward, hopefully. Now, does that mean we have to agree with each other or have to agree with the people who are in office? Absolutely not. We are not talking about uniformity, but we are talking about unity. Talking about how can we come together to honor the political and democratic process in this country and maintaining our own faith and integrity as we do so. There are a lot of people out there we disagree with. A lot of people we don't understand. How can you feel this way? How can you vote this way? That's not going to change with this election. It's only going to get worse, which I think means we have to be even more intentional about the language we use and the words that we use and how we talk about those involved. I'm starting to have conversations already about what do I preach this fall? Stephanie and I had about a 15-minute conversation before worship on Sunday about how do we address the violence that happened on Saturday. And I thought she did a great job in her prayer of talking about making sure we pray for everyone who is impacted by it and pray for peace to reign in the midst of that violence. The line that you walk when talking about these things in the pulpit or in worship is getting finer and finer. And so I covet your prayers as I discern, with the help of other people's voices, what to preach this fall. It's not going to be easy. And I guarantee I'm going to either not go far enough for some people or go too far for others. That's the nature of it. So I also covet your grace. We are doing the best we can to lead this church through what's going to be a difficult and divisive season, but to do so in a way that honors the gospel, that honors the Spirit of Jesus Christ, which flows through this church and flows through our hearts. And so I want to encourage us, let's pay attention to the words we use. Let's pay attention to the way we treat those we disagree with. And let's remember that we are called first and foremost to shine the light of Christ in this world. That's going to be my goal this coming fall. I'm going to do it the best I can, and where I fall short, I trust in God's grace and yours as well. Crestwood, let's talk about peace. That's what we really need to hear these days. God bless you.